Everybody, good to have. I don't know if anybody's here. I know Nev's here, but yeah, good to see you. I'm gonna start doing some random late night streams because I got nothing better to do. If I've kind of caught up on all my reading for the day, and so yeah, expect some random, virtually unannounced late night streams, and expect the quality to get better because I'm gonna soon be getting a new setup for my live streams where I actually can use my camera. So right now I'm using just a webcam and an old mic, but I'd love to be able to use my normal setup. So ideally, I think I figured it out where I can get the same setup that I do for my normal videos and make that the exact same setup for my live streams, which would be pretty cool if I could pull that off. I'm still trying to figure out the best way to get in that same location because where I'm sitting right now is not a great spot for live streaming because I'm like right up against the wall and I can't put my camera like above the computer. So yeah, that's where I'm at. So expect some changes in the next, I don't know, month or so when I can figure out how to make the hardware work. So let's say hi to some people. What's up, man? Good to see you. I don't know. I want to catch up to his books, and that will be a little while. It's probably going to be, I don't know, at least a few months into 2024 until I'm all caught up. But then I want to talk, I want to be able to, be able to go back and forth with him and know what I'm talking about. So he's not having to, stumble upon all his words. And I think that'd be a lot more fun. So yeah, I definitely want to chat with him. Kind of want to chat with more authors and figure out a way to do it where maybe some I don't know about live, but maybe intermingling my reviews with the interviews. So make part review and then show a little interview with the author. I don't know. I'm still kind of playing with the idea. I always like to do stuff different than everybody else. I feel like the reason I started my booktube channel was because I had this idea of a different offering that I wanted to give people of impromptu kind of stuff without a lot of prep, which is kind of the reason I'm doing random live streams. I want to do something that nobody else is doing. And, I see so many people doing author interviews and it makes me not want to do the exact same thing. So I want to figure out some kind of way that I can do it in a unique way. And I don't really know what it is yet. I mean, part of it could be the way I ask questions. I like the idea of doing a bunch of research, not just going into it a little more blind, but being able to ask some really deep dive questions that they're never going to have been asked before and go crazy background research before I go into it. But yeah, I'll figure it out. But my brain's still slowly clunking away the gears to figure out how I want to make everything work. All right, what else? What do we got here? Hey, great chat with Philip. Thanks, man. Yeah, it was fun. I've never done a real interview with somebody before on their stream. It's hard because I don't have a lot of time to do it. I've been offered from people to do it, and they're like, yeah, can you meet at 3:00 on a weekday? And that doesn't work. I know it's 6:00 for most people on the East Coast in the United States, but I can only make my priorities in life are family and work and reading, and then the booktube stuff after all that stuff. So the only time I have free is weekend mornings before the family's really active or nighttime stuff like right now. So yeah, that's what's up. Hey Matt, next I need to read when? I don't know. I feel like I need to pull up the trusty old spreadsheet, and that will be when? Man, it seems like a long time. I'm reading Kingdoms of Death in February. And then Tales of the Sun Eater 2 in March. And then Ashes of Man, probably May. That's the idea. We'll see. Enjoying the live streams. Happy to hear more on the way and even better quality. Thanks, man. Yeah, should be fun. I'm looking forward to it. How was your day? It was good. Normal day. I dropped the kids off at. My wife had an interview for a job. She's a marriage and family therapist, but she's going to switch contracting agencies. So she had an interview in the morning that went well, and she should be making a ton more money, which is sweet. And then I dropped the kids off, and then I went to work all day, and then I had to go pick up the kids from school, and then we played with the puppy and hung out, played Mario Party, had my 5-year-old have a total meltdown because he lost. My 7-year-old's relentless, and he got stomped. And so then I had to try to cool down the meltdown, make dinner. It's a good night. I mean, is this a regular thing now? Yeah. Well, it is going to be more frequent, but not like a regular schedule. Just totally random. Whenever I feel like doing it, I'll do it. Whenever I get the kids to bed in time and I don't have anything else to do, then I'll pop on. Yeah, chatting with others would be good. Yeah, should be fun. Stinker, I was about to jump and do my random. I'll listen here for a while. Like Dr. Fantasy. Thanks. I mean, do your thing. How long is it going to take you, Dan? I'll come watch part of it. Wow, that's a big break. I don't know what you're referring to. I'm too slow in my comments. Bryce, what's up, Bryce? Glad you're enjoying Sun Eater. Those prose and philosophical aspects are top notch. Yeah, man, I love Sun Eater so much. It's got to be one of the most underrated fantasy sci-fi series of all time. But I feel like it's getting more rated. It feels like it's still like a cult book where all the people in the know are reading it, but the masses aren't. But I want to get it popping. For your daughter reading Harry Potter rather than watching all movie one, I would just get about halfway with her to spark her interest more. I was going to say that last time. Yeah, good call. Wait, halfway through the movie? Yeah, halfway through the movie, stop, read the book, finish the movie. I think that's what you mean. Morning, everyone. My head blurry as 5 a.m. in the UK. Nice. Where in the UK you at? And is it blurry from waking up early or is it blurry from a fun night? I'm reading Howling Dark right now. Sun Eater might be my favorite sci-fi series of all time. Sweet, man. More people that drink that Kool-Aid. I'm game. Hey, Matt, love your channel. Any plans on reading The Dagger and the Coin by Daniel Abraham? No, I don't have plans for that. I've never even heard. Who's Daniel Abraham? I feel like I've heard of him. I feel like I have one of his books on my list of things that I need to read. Daniel Abraham. What am I missing out on here? He wrote a Game of Thrones something? What am I missing here? Somebody fill me in. I don't know this guy. C.L. Werner Brunner and the Bounty Hunter. Thoughts and business. I've never heard of that. I feel like you just threw a bunch of words together randomly. So those are my thoughts. Hey, I can hop on quickly. How do I join? Nev, are you on Discord, Nev? If you are, send me a message. If you need Discord, check out the description and then send me a private message. Sun Eater is one of the most underrated series in spec fiction. I like the word spec fiction. I feel like I'm kind of like trying to act too smart when I say it, though. So I don't say it. But I like it. Do you read books more than you listen to the audio? Yeah, so I'm always listening to one audiobook and one physical book at a time. Although right now I'm listening to 2 audiobooks because I'm doing this buddy read on my Discord of Project Hail Mary, which is super dope. And I can't wait for that movie to get made because it looks perfect for it. But I'm reading it too fast in audiobook, so I want to catch up so I can do the buddy read in sync. So I'm also doing another audiobook. But I read faster, so I probably read 2 physical books for every 1 audiobook. Mark is my work colleague. Matt, do you ever play the game Smash Brothers? Bro, Mark and I play a lunch break Smash Brothers on GameCube every day in the break room. And we're having a good time. And Mark, did you get the controllers? The new hookup? You bringing it in tomorrow? He's going to bring in the Switch and the plug-in so we can play with the GameCube controllers. Big break. I meant it feels like you read the Sun Eater thing a month or two ago, and the next one's. Oh yeah, I do. I have big breaks between my reads. I just have too many series I'm doing, and like this whole thing where I let people pick the book I'm going to read. It makes me go really slow because some of the books are awesome, and then I put them into my list of series that I'm reading, and it really slows things down. So I like it because it shows me a lot of good things that I should be reading, but it also has slammed the brakes. Did Nev send me a channel? Okay, Nev's here. One sec. Let me invite Nev on here. See if he can come on. All right, who else we got? Nearly done with 𝐿onesome Dove after seeing your vid. What a wonderful read, and feeling like it's on my Mount Rushmore of books. Yeah, dude. I feel like everybody who's read it says the exact same thing because it's just one of the best books ever made across any genre. Dino, have you read anything by Edward W. Robinson? The Cycle of R1. I've never heard of those. Hello, Matt. What's up, man? How you doing, Britton? You should read Daniel Abraham. What am I? Do I need to read that Dagger and the Coin? Did he do Long Price Quartet? Is that where I've heard that name before? Somebody tell me if Daniel Abraham is Long Price Quartet, because I know that I plan on reading that. Did I give the right link to good old Nev? I did. He should be coming soon. Okay, give me a sec. All right. Well, there we go. What's up, Nev?
Yo, hey, how's it going, Matt?
Good. How you doing? Hey, everybody. This is Nev from Nev's book channel. Pretty awesome. Somewhat newer. How long have you had a channel, Nev?
Oh, probably about 4 months, 5 months. I don't put out many videos, so
pretty new.
Yeah, got
Nice.
about 500 subs. So
I feel like
yeah,
when I was 4 or 5 months in, I had about 500 subs too. So
okay,
you're doing good things.
yeah, okay.
But yeah, check out his stuff. I'm gonna put a well, just search for Nev's book channel if you want to check out his stuff. But after the stream, I'll put up a link at the top of my description, so you could check out his stuff.
Okay, thanks.
So Nev, what are you up to? You're at work?
Well, I work.
Or you're working?
So, yeah. I mean, it's 4 o'clock. I'm in Sydney, Australia, so it's 4 o'clock on a Friday afternoon. And I just work with a friend. We have a bunch of clients, and do software development.
Nice.
So our hours are pretty flexible. So I said, okay, I'm going to jump on this.
So do you normally wake up at? Do you normally wake up at this time? Is this like a normal thing for you?
No. I've been working all day. So 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. 4 p.m., not 4 a.m.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
I was like, Nev, you got something. You got to work on your sleep schedule, my man.
Yeah.
That makes a lot more sense. It wouldn't make any sense for it to be 4 a.m. in Australia with
I used to do that when I was much younger. So,
I don't think I ever had a time in my life where I regularly woke up at 4 a.m. I had a lot of nights where I probably went to sleep closer to 4 a.m., but not so much the waking up at 4 a.m. thing.
Yeah.
Well, let's check out some of these questions.
Yeah, all right.
All right, Daniel Abraham co-wrote The Expanse. He also worked a lot with George R. R. Martin. Nice. Co-wrote. Okay, he's one of the James S.A. Corey's. Half of those people. You ever read or watched Expanse, Nev?
I watched the first 2 episodes. I never read it.
I mean, a lot happens in that first episode, I imagine. Yeah,
I was watching it with my wife, and she was like, "Nah, I'm not interested." And I was like, "It's not grabbing me too much."
Yeah.
I'd probably keep going, but my time watching TV is so limited that usually I watch something with my wife, so or the kids.
What do you watch?
Random stuff. Probably more recently, I've just been catching up on the Wheel of Time season 2.
Nice.
Yeah.
I regularly watch 2 Australian TV shows, so I am downright obsessed with Australian Survivor.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So I'm a big Survivor fan. I've watched every episode of everyone the second they come out, but Australian Survivor is so much better than American Survivor. It is so good.
Okay. Yeah,
And
I
then,
watched the last season. I watched the last season because I actually know someone on there.
Really? Who do you know on there?
Steve, the guy with the white glasses.
I'm pulling up Steve. I'm really bad with names. Let me pull this up. Oh man, really? Steve is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, so I know him. He's kind of a fun guy.
He went really far.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
I get to hear all the behind the scenes stuff.
That is awesome. It's everything that old Survivor in America used to be, and it just is so good. And the characters are awesome, and the episodes are way longer, and the seasons are way longer, and it's awesome. And then I watch a lot of Bluey. I gotta tell you.
Okay, that's not on my radar.
Wait, do you not even know what Bluey is?
Is that the cartoon?
Yeah, the blue dog.
Yeah, vaguely. No, all my kids are grown up. So
yeah, you don't have little kids. And Bluey is big in America right now for little kids because it's like this awesome mix of entertaining for adults and kids, which is rare for a kids cartoon show, but also like legitimately teaches good life lessons to the kids and like teaches parents how to like be more fun, good parents. So
okay, cool. What?
It's good.
Do you mind me asking how old your kids are?
I have a 7-year-old and a 5-year-old.
Okay.
And they're equally enthralled with Bluey.
That's cool. Yeah. My kids, my youngest is 19, so
yeah,
a bit of a different life stage.
Although I will tell you that my wife, who I hope I don't embarrass, but she's not watching this. She watches Bluey like without the kids. She'll like flip it on, and I'll come up to the bedroom and I'll be like, "Are you watching Bluey by yourself?"
By yourself.
And she'll be like, "Yeah, it's good."
Oh,
so
nice.
Let's roll through these comments. Oh, my wife is watching this. Okay.
Oh.
Hey, sweetie.
Hi, Matt's wife.
Well, maybe she didn't hear that. Called her out. Starting work on my next novel. It's a Western. I didn't know you wrote books. Hit me up with a link on what you're writing, man. I want to check that out. Yes, Long Price. Okay, cool. I've been told I gotta read Long Price Quartet. Philip told me I have to read it. Philip Chase and others. So here it's good. Before I go too far, Nev, I saw a video of yours the other day and I didn't comment on it. I should have, but I lurk in a lot of videos. You were reading some like Terry Pratchett book that wasn't Discworld.
Yeah.
But it looked like Discworld. It had the same art. It must have been the same artist.
Yeah, the first 2 books that he wrote, if you look at the covers for the like first edition, they're totally different. But later they were re-released with the same cover artist.
Okay.
So it's his first 2 books, and they're very. His writing definitely developed. You've read some of Discworld.
I've read all of Discworld.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, you know how the first couple are a little bit like
weird,
patchy. You know, like
I don't really like
plot.
the first. I don't really love the first 2 books.
Yeah. Well, think of that, but even more like confusing. if that's the right way to put it, they're a bit hard to understand. They're not funny. Like occasionally he'll try to put some humor in there, and it's like, yeah, I can see where you're going there, but the rest of it is not very funny. The second one, is a bit more interesting because it's like you can see that he's trying to. He's kind of forming the Discworld ideas,
Yeah.
and then he kind of starts running with that, obviously, later on.
Did
But
you? How
yeah,
much
they're a bit
Discworld
rough.
How much Discworld have you read?
I've probably got about 8 to go.
Oh,
So I'm up.
you're
I think
deep.
the last one I read was Monstrous Regiment.
What'd you think of that one?
That one I enjoyed. They're starting to get a bit. The one before that, I can't remember what that was. I felt was a bit, is starting to decline.
Yeah.
And yeah, so obviously, his illness was affecting him, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I felt the same, and then Monsters Regiment, I felt like I really liked it. It had a really fun.
Mm.
I don't really want to ruin it for anybody, but like I really got surprised by the little twist about what the book was about, and it was just a fun
Mm-hmm.
take on sexism and women and women's role in the world. I thought it was fun.
Yeah. I wanted to ask, how many hours do you spend a day reading?
I read about I'd say I probably read about 2.5 to 3 hours in a physical book, and then probably another hour. I probably read another hour in audiobook, but I read it sped up, so it's more like an hour and a half.
Right. Yeah.
But I read like about an hour when I wake up, about an hour before I go to bed, and then on my lunch break I read while I'm eating, and then like a little bit at night if the kids aren't, or if the kids are like watching TV or something, I'll read next to them with some headphones on.
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. What about you? What are you at?
I used to catch the train to work, which I don't do.
Yeah.
It's COVID. So probably about an hour and a half at night. That's about
That's
it.
good.
I don't do audiobooks. I find that I don't click with me. But yeah, I'm not a fast reader. So yeah, I watch all these YouTube channels, and it's like, I read this much in this month, and it's like, oh boy.
Well, I mean, the average, they
I
say
don't-
that still feels high, that like the average person reads like 5 to 10 books a year, but they're not big. They're like probably 200 to 300 pages each. So I don't know, 1,000 to 2,000 pages a year. So you're shattering that.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm getting through about 200 to 300 pages a week, which is
Yeah, it's great.
it's okay for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you just got to read whatever.
Is that right?
Whatever works, right?
That right?
Yeah, let's get them out. I just started The Heroes. Nice. I am going to be starting The Heroes by Joe Abercrombie in a month and a half, and I'm nervous about it because I'm doing it on audiobook, and I love the audiobooks for First Law. I think they're like the pinnacle of audiobooks. But The Heroes is all like about a big battle, and battles on audiobook can be kind of hard to follow along on like all the little piece. Like I want to look at it when I'm reading a battle. I read a lot of history books in my life, and like I want to follow the I want to see like the map and like see where everything's at, and you can't do that on audiobook. So yeah, we'll see.
So you enjoy maps and fantasy books.
Oh, I love a good map. I love a good map. I'm particular
maps.
about my maps too. I want a big map that's complicated, that shows a lot more locations than we're going to visit. Like I want it to look like a real map, not just like, here's all the places you're going to see in the book.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
it's hard on Kindle because the maps on Kindle suck. They're so like pixelated.
Yeah, there was something I read. The Will White. Have you've read Cradle?
I read Cradle.
Did you? Did you go and read his first series?
No, I got them for free. When he released the last book, he went and made all of his previous books free.
That's right. I got your link, and I went and grabbed them all.
So I got them all, and I do intend on reading them, but I haven't gotten around to it yet. I'm really intrigued by one of his series. I think it might be the only series he's written, but it's like he tells a story. I think it's a trilogy from one side of a conflict, and then another trilogy covering the same events from the other side of the conflict. And I'm really intrigued by that idea because I love reading a good book that covers both sides. You know, a lot of my favorite fantasy books do that, but to read a whole book and then another one that's the same events is interesting to me, to say the least.
Have you heard of Stephen Donaldson?
No.
The Chronicles of Thomas Covenant?
Yeah, I have. Okay. I have heard of that. I've heard a lot. I don't know anything about it, but a lot of people have told me it's good.
Yeah. He then went on to write I think it's a sci-fi series. I haven't read it, called the Gap series. And I think that's one where there's that seeing things from other people's sides going on. Like you read the first book and you're getting one perspective, and then you read the next book and it's like, oh, wait a second, that person was potentially the bad guy or something like that.
Yeah. I don't know. Feels like I should have read a book like that before, but I haven't. I really want to try that.
And the other thing, you're reading Raymond D. Feist.
I am.
You've read Magician.
I read Magician. I read the Silverthorn. And then the Magician is split up into 2 books now. It's like Magician's Apprentice, Magician Master. I read Silverthorn. I still have to read whatever the fourth one's called.
Darkness at Sethanon.
Yes, I'm going to be reading that one. Let me see. I hope soon. I'm going to be reading that one in the end of December, and then I'll be done with it in the beginning of January. And then I want to go immediately into the next
Empire
one,
series.
The Empire series, because everyone tells me that's awesome.
That is awesome. Yeah.
Is that co-written by Raymond D. Feist, or is that just by the other author?
It's co-written by him and Yanni Wirtz.
Yeah.
And that's not giving too much away, but in I think it's the first book of the Empire series, there is a sequence that happens in Magician, and you get to see it from a different perspective.
Good. Yeah, I know that it tells the perspective is with the other people on the other side of the rift. But that's awesome. I mean, I read one book by, is it Janny or Yanni? How do you say it?
I don't know.
Whatever. Wirtz. Whatever. And I read To Ride Hell's Chasm recently, which I thought was really good. So she's very clearly a very talented author. And I'm very, very excited about reading that one. That might be one of the most exciting reads I'm looking forward to going into next year.
Yeah, I'd love to read more of her, but then again, I'd love to read lots. The biggest TBR pile ever.
Yeah, I hear you on that. So much for going to bed early. Yeah, sorry about that. My bad. January did write Long Price Quartet, which is very good. Awesome. Yeah, I don't know why I haven't gotten around to it. In the Faithful and Fallen book, Ruin, did I miss something, or should Rafe's dogs be dead? I don't remember. I think I've read a couple hundred books since I read Ruin. I remember the basic plot points, but I definitely don't remember that. Have you done Faithful and the Fallen yet?
No. Again, TBR.
It's a masterpiece. I'm watching One Piece these days. Yeah,
that seems to be popular.
Yeah, I just can't get into. I don't watch TV very much, and then I'm not into anime or manga.
Have you read much in the way of comics at all?
No, I never have. As a kid, my parents tried to get me into comics. They just kind of threw all kind of books at me and saw what stuck. And I remember I got a bunch of comics, and a lot of my friends were into them. And I just always wanted to visualize things on my own. I didn't want it to be shown to me. Which is strange because I'm not like the most visual reader, but it just feels like something gets stripped away from the material for me when I see it all in front of me.
Interesting.
I don't know.
Yeah. I had a friend who had a whole bunch of comics, so I borrowed them. I used to go indoor rock climbing with him. And so I read a whole bunch, like Akira. Akira is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And there's a series, I think you may like it, called Fables.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, by Bill Willingham. Because I don't go in for much of the kind of superhero type stuff. I find that a bit, I don't know, boring. But Fables is really good.
I worry about getting into comics and manga because I'm a cheapskate and I don't buy any books. I get them all from the library. Like literally all the books I read are from the library. And I know that I would have to buy them. And that's very much opposite my kind of worldview on reading. But I'd probably end up spending tons of money.
Yeah, that friend was very handy.
Yeah, that's awesome. I've always wanted to go to Australia. I dread the jet lag, though. Yeah, jet lag's real. I mean, I've never gone that direction of the world. The furthest I've gone is Europe from California. And I find that if I just don't go to sleep the night before, like at all, and then take a really early flight and then sleep the whole flight, I wake up refreshed. And then I just have to force myself to go to sleep early. And then I wake up the next day fine. That's my little jet lag beater trick.
It's been a while since I've been overseas.
Where have you been?
I've been back in my 20s. I went to Europe for about 6 months, just backpacking around. That same trip I went to the States. I went like Washington, D.C., Chicago, New York, went up the Twin Towers. That's how long ago it was. Yeah, been to Europe with my family. Took the kids along.
How far how long does it take to get to like Western Europe from Sydney?
Oh, it's about 20 hours.
Wow. That's a flight.
Usually you stop off in Dubai for a couple of hours.
Feels like Dubai is a huge transfer point. I hear so many people telling me they stop at Dubai on the way to something. Let's see. Oh, thanks. I must have missed something. Then I thought they were both down in that one thing, and then both alive later. Oh yeah, I have no idea. My kids love Bluey. Yeah, dude. All the kids at my kids' school are into Bluey. Bluey's awesome.
I should probably watch it. Have a little watch.
My cousin loves Bluey. Bluey's just. I mean, it does do some weird things. Like my kids will randomly, like when I'm doing something wrong, they'll call me cheeky, which is a term that I'd never heard before.
Okay,
but
interesting.
I get it now. It's like a fun, bad, right? Like you'd use it more in a playful way. If somebody's being bad, is that about right?
If someone's being cheeky, it just means that they're maybe. What is it?
Is it one of those words like you know it when you hear it?
Yeah, it's like you're being a bit cheeky means that you're being perhaps you're doing something that you shouldn't be doing, but it's funny, and so it gets a pass.
You wouldn't use it as like somebody's doing something totally wrong, right? Like, and you're upset at them. It'd be more of like a term, like an endearing term.
Yeah, it's like you're being a bit smart.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like your kid comes and tries to get something in an interesting way. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I think my kids are using it right.
Is that so? That's an Australian thing, is it?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Because I've watched a lot of. I don't think it's a UK thing. I don't know. Do I have any UK people here? Let me know if cheeky's a thing over there. I don't think it is. I think it's an Australian thing.
Okay. Yeah.
And they do some other terms that I'm not from, like barbecue is Barbie.
Oh,
Certainly had never heard that before. I mean,
okay.
Barbie's a toy. There's a few it's always good stuff, but my kids randomly throw out these Australian terms now. If I didn't have kids, I would probably still watch Bluey. Yeah. Bluey, man. I'm glad you guys are all on the Bluey train.
All right.
I wrote a fantasy. I just need to edit it more. Might get it out by 2024 if I decide on the self-publisher. Nice. All right, well, let me know what it is. I want to check it out. I've been in a slump since July. Read 7 to 8 books a month from January to the end of July. Have read like 2 to 3 more books a month since. That's still a lot of books. I mean, 2 to 3 books a month is like 30 books a year.
Yeah.
You're looking good. I just read whenever you want to. You don't need to like judge yourself or worry about that kind of stuff. I don't really get in reading slumps because I'm kind of OCD and I kind of like have this is when I'm going to read. This is how much I'm going to read every day. So I just I stick to my little regiment. But sometimes like if I'm on vacation and stuff, I go slow, but not consistently slow.
I'd say if I'm in a boring book, that can be. I just tend to try and read it quicker. I'm
the exact same way. I read books faster when I don't like them.
Yeah.
And when I'm really loving one, I slow down because I want to savor it. I'm
not a DNF kind of guy. I actually just read a book and it's a 1-star. It's Arthur C. Clarke. Have you ever read any Arthur C. Clarke? 2001.
I did. I read 2001.
Yeah, okay.
I liked it.
Yeah, I really enjoy Arthur C. Clarke. He wrote this book called Against the Fall of Night. And this guy wrote a sequel. And it's not good.
I found that, so I was the same way for a long time. I never DNF'd. And then I got in a phase where I DNF'd a lot. It was like, if I don't like it, I'm out. And I got so much happier. But now that I do reviews, I feel like I got to finish it to give a review of it.
Yeah.
And so every now and then I'll DNF a book. But if I review a book that I've DNF'd, I get a lot of hate comments.
Okay.
But it's a hobby. It's not like a job. I can do what I want.
It was interesting what you said, talking to Dr. Fantasy, Philip Chase, about not wanting to review bad books.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's maybe something that I will change. Like, I'll probably mention books that I don't give good ratings to, but I won't dwell on them.
Yeah, I find that personally, the bigger an author is, the more comfortable I am giving a negative review. I don't mind flaming like a Brandon Sanderson book. He's never going to read that. It doesn't impact his career at all.
Yeah.
But if there's like this little book that has 10, Amazon reviews, I would feel really bad about flaming that book. So I just don't read them. I just kind of read books.
Wise choice.
Yeah, I've learned over time. And then the quality of some of those books, like, I don't know, do authors reach out to you to send you books?
Well, I've had one, and so I did get it, and I reviewed it in my last video. I gave it 2 stars.
Yeah.
Hopefully I wasn't too harsh.
My policy now that I've learned, and I copied Bryce from Shelf Centered, and if you guys aren't subbed to Bryce, you should. But where he will, like, when people reach out to him to send him a book, he says, I'm not going to review it. But if you want to send me a copy, I'll show it off in a video. And so I've started doing that where, I'm not pressuring them, but I'll be like, hey, look, if you want to send it to me, feel free. I'll read the back cover to people. I'll give you a little, exposure, but I'm not going to read it.
And then what do you do with the books? Do you just donate them? Or
right now I'm just filling up a bookcase at my office.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know what I'm going to do eventually. I'll probably just give them away if anybody wants them. I did
How
a thing.
many
What's that?
how many physical books do you actually own?
Like the ones that are sent to me, or like in general?
In general, yeah.
I mean, these are all my books behind me, and then those are like books that I have read, and then my wife has a couple like therapy books back there, but in general, those are all mine. And then at my office, I have probably like 100 or so books that have been sent to me. That I don't know what I'm going to do with those things. I did a thing on my Patreon where I was like, hey, look, here's all the books. If you want one, let me know and I'll send it to you. And then I just have them like in stacks. I just got to go to the post office, but that's just a drop in the bucket. I don't know what I'll do with them.
Yeah. Okay.
Wait, I didn't read this comment. Words of Light and Shadow is good, but the central pillar of it is really immersion breaking and annoying. Well, we'll see. You can read manga scans for free from dozens of sites. On what though? On like a tablet? Is that what I need to do? Read Emperor Silence not long ago. Thought it was just okay. Also, just thought Name of the Wind was all right. Maybe not a fan of the writing style, but I do want to try Empire of the Vampire. Yeah, I mean they all do that same. What's it called? When an author framing narrative, where the author is telling a story about their life.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean that might not be your thing.
I haven't actually read Name of the Wind yet.
Yeah, I mean it's. I feel like most people like it. I feel like the negative you hear from people are people that are upset that the series hasn't continued after the second book. But I enjoyed them. I reread them recently, and I loved them both. The writing is just very, very well done.
I suspect that I will like them.
They're likable books. I mean, they're not, and I mean, if you enjoy expert level kind of poetic type writing, it's up there with the best of them.
Okay.
A morning stream instead of the usual night stream from booktubers. Nice. Where you live, Capricious Fox? You must be in the UK or somewhere in Europe.
Morning stream. What time is it at your California?
So for me, it's 9:40 at night. So usually UK is 8 hours ahead of me. Sometimes 9. So
sense.
5 a.m., 6 a.m. I've only heard and used Cheeky all my life. And I'm from LA. All right, well, I don't know what I'm missing. Maybe LA is really in tune with Australian terms. Well, love the content. Thanks for the stream, of course. Glad that you found joy with Lightbringer by Brent Weeks. Yeah, I mean, Lightbringer is good stuff. The audiobooks are awesome. So like there's these audiobooks called graphic audio. Nev, I don't know if you've ever heard of these things, but like it's like so a lot of books will get an audiobook. I mean, most books get an audiobook, right? And then there's this company called Graphic Audio that will go in and do another audiobook with a full cast.
Right.
Every character has their own voice actor, and they do sound effects and music at the right times. And it's very dramatic. It feels like you're listening to like a play. And so I read the graphic audio versions of Lightbringer because they're free on Hoopla, which is a book library thing that a lot of libraries have. And so it was awesome. Like, and normally they're crazy expensive. Like, so each book, so normally one audiobook is for one book, but on graphic audio, it'll be like you have to get like 3 or 4 graphic audios per book. So it would have cost me hundreds of dollars to read this thing on graphic audio, but I got it for free, which is so awesome. But yeah, it was really fun. I like Lightbringer. Just read Blood Meridian, beautiful writing, but man, that book isn't for me. Yeah, I agree. I still get flamed for my review of Blood Meridian. Like at least once or twice a week, I get a very nasty comment on that review. And I feel like what they're trying to do is to make me feel bad. But I get a big kick out of them. It makes me happy seeing how riled up people get.
I reckon I'd probably be on the same page as you. I read The Road recently, and I gave
That's
it
right.
4 stars. I gave it 4 stars, but yeah, some of it's like, really?
I'm just not a. I don't know. So like I've classically kind of said that, I read. The reason I read books is to have fun, and I know there's a lot of reasons people read books, but I want to have a good time, and I
Yeah.
didn't have a good time reading it. And then people were like, "Yeah, you're not supposed to have fun. It's a literary masterpiece." And I'm like, "Well,
Okay.
I'm not in school.
Whatever.
I don't need to study anymore." But I mean, there's obviously something there to love for people because it's like an American classic. But I don't really like classic literature. Right? Also, I never really did. It zapped my fun out of reading as a kid, and then I never really enjoyed any of it.
I don't mind it. Like, I've read Pride and Prejudice. That was a few years ago, and I actually enjoyed it. But it is a bit of a, I wouldn't call it a chore, but it's a different type of reading.
Yeah, I mean I think that's the kind way to put it. I've been reading Legacy of Light by Matthew Ward for an embarrassing amount of time. My goal is to finish it by the end of the year. Is it long, Bryce? I've never heard of this before. I'm on the Cormac McCarthy Reddit, and I saw people talking shit about your video. I hope this isn't offensive, but I thought it was hilarious. I was just going to say I know that guy. Oh, that's awesome. I need to go. I want to go read that. I'm going to go find that. If I can't find it, hit me up and search your search history. But I want to. Maybe that's why people are finding it, because I was wondering why it's still getting views. Because, like, I don't know about you, but I'll make a vast majority of my videos. I'll make them. They'll get views for the first 24 hours, and then I'll get a trickle for the next 24 hours, and then nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Unless it somehow catches the algorithm or something, which is rare. But this one, it just like gets a consistent, like 50 views a day or something, which isn't a ton, but I don't know where they're finding it. It's weird. Is Dandelion?
Hey, Matt.
Yeah.
I better drop off.
Yeah, no worries.
I'm supposed to be playing mini golf in VR with
Enjoy.
some friends.
No, enjoy. So, thanks so much for talking to me.
Thanks for having me on.
Have a good one.
It's been great. All right. I'll see you later. Take care. How do I leave this?
Maybe I can kick you out. All right. Now you got to get used to my bigger face here. So is Dandelion Dynasty similar to Malazan? No, it's not. I mean, presumably you know what Malazan is by the fact that you asked that question. How do I move my head more? Which way? That way? Yeah. No, it's very different. I mean, Dandelion Dynasty is the first book is like a history book, fast-paced history book. And then it's, totally different tale, but they're awesome. They're both amazing to me. That's my first and second favorite series. On anything with an internet browser, there are loads of sites and hosting manga scans, albeit often with the unofficial translation is all they do. Got it. Shonen Jump also has a monthly subscription. Lets you read all the manga they have, I think. Nice. Denmark, almost 7 a.m. Nice. Never been to Denmark. Seems like a very pleasant place, though. Graphic audio is so good. The issue is price because it's so many to listen to. Yeah, the price is rough. And if you listen to a lot of graphic audio, it's all the same actors. So, like, they clearly have a cast that they work with. And you'll hear the voice, and you're like, wait, that's not him. That's, that's this guy. And they also do this unfortunate thing on some books where they'll, like, change the voice actor out. Because, like, it makes sense that, you've got 30 voice actors. You're not going to be able to get them all for every book because the books don't all come out at the same time. And then it really throws me off. I'm like, who's talking right now? It's frustrating, right? Stormlight is like 6 books. Stormlight, 6 books. Oh, yeah. I got you. I mean, I disagree with you about Blood Meridian, but I understand that people will bounce off of it. Yeah, I mean, I think I also get why people like it. It's like 800 pages. It's more like I can't get the bad taste of book 2 out of my mouth when I read it. It's just super slow, but it's the last book, so I won't DNF. I mean, you've got good commitment. I feel the same way about books. If I'm, over halfway in a series, I gotta keep going, right? I also just read books for fun. Don't need great prose or literature masterpiece. Just want to enjoy what I'm reading, and prose is secondary extra bonus. Yeah, exactly the same way. It's like a nice little cherry on top, but I don't need it. I can love a book that doesn't have good prose. I can love a book that has bad prose, but I can't love a book that has a bad plot or has bad characters. I can maybe like them, but you're not going to hold my attention with a book just because it's got good prose. That's totally alien to me. Looking good, boss. Thanks, man. Thanks for the chat. Thank you. Graphic audio is sensory overload for me. Yeah, I could get that. It's a lot. All the noises in it too are kind of intense. Angie, hey Angie. Angie had an awesome booktube channel. Check her out. I am reading Initiate's Trial, Volume 9 of The Wars of Light and Shadow by Jenny Wirtz. Man, this is such an underrated series. Yeah, The Wars of Light and Shadow is for sure on my TBR list. What's the first book in that? I feel like a lot of people tell me I need to read it. But it's dope. I really want to check it out because everyone tells me it's good. Everyone. And I feel like a lot of people are reading right now that I like. If I left Elden Ring, what fantasy books and series would you say are similar? The only thing that's similar to that that I know of is 11th Cycle. Is that the name of it? 11th Cycle by 𝐭𝐮𝐲 𝐬𝐻. And he says that's what I'm going for. And it's definitely, I've played a lot of, I never played Elden Ring. I played a lot of the Dark Souls games, but it's got a lot of vibe and it's awesome. It's just very dark. It's very dark. Just bleak is night. And there's one particular scene that is the most graphic, horrific violence that I've ever read. And it's awesome. It's so good. But yeah, check it out. You mentioned your first binding review on Dear Dr. Fantasy today. Did 𝗟𝗶𝗸 respond to you on that? Or did a bunch of his fans come after you? No. 𝗟𝗶𝗸 did not respond to me. I tried not to say the name first binding. I wanted to not make anybody upset with Dear Dr. Fantasy with Philip Chase. But no, none of his fans came after me. And I got a lot of positivity from it actually, which is weird for a negative review. But I feel like a lot of people felt what I was feeling and didn't have anybody saying it. So when I said it, they all kind of chimed in with agreeing with what I had to say. I don't feel bad at all. I hope he watched that review. I hope he feels really bad about what he wrote. I never say that about bad books, except if you copy a book scene for scene, then you should feel bad and be mocked for it. Yeah, there you go. 11th Cycle. That's the one. First book is Curse of the Mythwraith. Yeah, that's it. I want to make a priority read on that for 2024. It's only the first book, but it gives straight from soft vibes. Yeah. Wars of Light and Shadows. Yep, that's it. How have you not played Elden Ring? Because I have kids, and they take up a lot of my time. Back before I had kids, I played a lot of games. I played a lot of video games. And now I'm really picky with what I play. I need a game that is more linear. Even though I love open games, I just don't have the time to invest in exploring. And, unless I'm just going to play the same game for 6 months, which is also not my style. So I would love to play it. I would really love to play it. But I try to be very intentional with what I choose to play and things that are good for my life. Like, I've done that for a long time. Like, I remember back in the day, I was really into Diablo, and the first Diablo game. Really, really, really into it. And my buddies and I would play every day after school, hopping on that 56K modem, and I got too addicted to it. And I realized back then that, like, that MMO style game it's not healthy for me. And so I never even played the second Diablo, let alone World of Warcraft. And I watched all my friends go down that path and kind of get addicted to them. And so ever since then, I really try to be careful about what I play. And in a different way, I just have to pick games now that aren't going to impact, my family and stuff. The spoilers. I've heard people say 𝐒𝐿𝐴ZN is kind of like a Dark Souls-esque series. Do you think that's accurate? Not really, because 𝐒𝐿𝐴ZN is not as dark as Dark Souls. Like, a lot of bad stuff happens in 𝐒𝐿𝐴ZN, but at its soul, 𝐒𝐿𝐴ZN is about, like, compassion and forgiveness and friendship. Even though there's these horrible things happening in it, that's like the resounding themes of the story. And I don't think you could claim any of those things exist in a FromSoft game. Yeah. Damn it. Now I'm looking forward to it. And not working on my novel here. Yeah, sorry about that. I love when a character that I strongly hate. Wait, I love when there's a character I strongly hate because the author created a character that makes me feel such a strong emotion. Obviously, good characters are great, but bad ones are impressive to me. Yeah, my favorite characters, maybe not like all of them, but a lot of my favorite characters are bad characters. And I especially love a bad character who wants to be a better person. I don't know who said that. I've read it somewhere, and it really resonated with me. And I love that, especially when they fail, when they really want to change, but they can't. And I love it. So yeah, I'm right there with you. Plus, I wouldn't start with Blood Marine anyways. No Country or The Road would be where I would start than 𝐒𝐮. Yeah, I think that's probably good advice. No Country Old Man is definitely better than Blood Marine, at least in my mind. Yeah, I can see that. So I'm getting close to the end. I'm going to go for an hour, which is like 3 minutes. So get your questions in if anybody has them, because I will not be here much longer. But thanks for, I can't believe so many people will tune in on a late night. I wonder how many people would tune in if I like did a normal time, but it's probably normal for you, wherever you live. Back Dirties want to change, but can't. Bro, you described First Law. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's one of the reasons that First Law is, one of my favorite series of all time. I love that. I mean, 𝐒𝐿𝐴ZN's got a ton of those characters. A lot of wonderful series have that, core concept to it. Back when you gamed more, did you play Oblivion? Yeah. Yeah, I did. I mean, look, I'll play some open games. Like, whenever the new Elder Scrolls, Elden Ring was brought up, so I want to say Elden, but Elder Scrolls, I'll play that. I mean, GTA is an open game. I'll play that. I just played Cyberpunk, and that's more open. But I try to stick more to the main storylines so I can kind of not spend forever. I just played The Witcher, Witcher 3 again, and that's way open. But I spent way too long on it. Like, I only played that game for like 2 months, nothing else. But yeah, I loved Oblivion. Morrowind more than Oblivion, but I liked Oblivion. Halfway through Oathbringer, and I feel like the content is still absolutely mind-blowing, but pacing was not very well done, especially compared to the first two. They didn't feel as long as they were. I want to know, Krish, what you think when you're done. Because, yeah, the pacing is different, but the end of this one also is different. So I'm curious if you hold that same view after you finish the book. Obligatory comment recommending The Wandering Inn. What's The Wandering Inn? I've never heard of that before. Just kidding, by the way. What should I read now? I don't know. What do you like? What are your favorite books? Hit me up. That's like starting Finnegan's Wake with James Royce. What book should I read as a 13-year-old boy? Mistborn's probably pretty good for a 13-year-old, I feel like. It's good transition from YA into adult, which is probably where you should be right now. So I would, if I had a 13-year-old family member that had a birthday that liked reading, I would buy him Mistborn. Oathbringer has the best ending, but is the worst Stormlight Archive book. I do think it's the worst Stormlight Archive book. I don't know if I agree on it being the best ending. It has the biggest ending, but I almost felt like it was too big, if that's a thing. What booktubers do you watch the most consistently? Okay. I don't. It's horrible, but I don't really watch booktube. I some like very randomly will watch some stuff, but I don't know how to say this nicely, so I won't, because you're all watching me and I'm on booktube, but I don't really like booktube very much. Like, I mean, I know I'm on it, but like, it's not something I would enjoy watching. I enjoy making it. I love that you guys enjoy watching it, but like, I want to experience books without other people telling me about them first. You know, I also am very judgy internally. I'll never tell anybody, but I dislike a lot of booktubers and the way that they portray themselves. A lot of them rub me the wrong way. And I probably rub a lot of people the wrong way. So I don't want to act like I'm, something different. But I don't even want to say like what it is about certain people that drives me the wrong way, because then I feel like some people might be watching it and then they'll feel bad. But I also I love a lot of booktubers. I will say that some of my favorite booktubers are not huge. Like I mentioned Bryce from Shelf Centered. I love that. I love Books with Genghis Khan. Andrew Watson. I'm trying to think of people bigger that I like. I do like Murphy Napier, her reviews. I think she's doing good stuff. She's definitely the biggest one that I'll watch some videos from. I have a spreadsheet that I use when I invite people to do videos with me. I'm trying to think about people that I regularly watch. It's just very rare. I mean, it's not what I do. I don't want to, I don't know. I feel like an idiot saying that, but it is what it is. Will you read more KJ Parker or Daniel Abraham? Yeah. So did we establish that Daniel Abraham is Long Price Quartet? If so, then I'm reading that. KJ Parker, yes. I want to read the Engineer trilogy next. Have you checked out Sufficiently Advanced Magic? No, but I'm going to. It's on my list. What's wrong with the rest of BookTube, eh? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Look, okay. A lot of booktubers are way too excitable. I'll pick on one of them because he's big and won't care because he won't watch this. But like Daniel Green, I hate that style. It's like everything is like, bam, wow, look at me. I'm trying to be all wacky and zany, and it's so not genuine. And I know it's not genuine because when you watch their older stuff, they're normal. And then they realize that like, oh, this is what the algorithm likes. I should change my personality to match what the algorithm tells me I should act like. And that's just so dumb. Like, be yourself. You don't need to be a different person. In life, you should just be authentic. And a lot of people do that. I also don't like the opposite of that, where people are way too down and mellow. You know, I like somebody that feels like I could get along with them and go grab a beer with. And there are a lot of booktubers that have that personality trait. There's a lot of them that don't. And I think that's all I will say on that without upsetting people. Sup, Matt? You're awesome. I love your epic ranking videos and book reviews. Thanks. Appreciate it. I like making them. Like that people enjoy them. I like Stormlight and the First Law. Trying reading Discworld now, trying to expand my horizons. Nice. Yeah, Discworld's great. Very different than the Stormlight and First Law. Might I recommend to you, in that vein of really big fantasy series that everybody's read, but check out General and Bastard. I feel like you might like it. Of course, you have a spreadsheet. Yeah, I got a lot of spreadsheets. My brain needs them. But yeah, I've got like 142 people on the booktube, on the fantasy booktube spreadsheet. It's a big spreadsheet. Only booktuber I want to grab a book beer with is you. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. There's a fair amount of booktubers where I'd be like, dude, I would love to hang out with this guy or girl. Do you enjoy buddy read or feel like it's time-consuming distraction? I do enjoy it. I didn't think I would, but I'm doing one a month now on my channel and my Discord. I like the whole community aspect of it. I like how we vote on what book to read, so we're all kind of bought in. I do like discussing it. You know, I can't do it too much because I read too fast for them. But if I just stick to one and slow down, then that's like the perfect pace for me. I might do everyone's favorite books at the end of the year. Nice. I know that, who is it? Library of Vikings doing a video like that. But he also doesn't do a ton of people. Like he'll do like 15 or so people. So not super expansive. Just want to say thanks, Matt. Your consistent content has got me interested in a lot of more lesser known series. Awesome, man. That's the goal. Hey, mate, from Middle Earth, I'm here. Where's a good starting point for lit RPG? I think the classic, lit RPG, not progression. Wandering In, man. Wandering In. It's one of the best series of all time. And it's lit RPG. Just know that the first book is long. And while I liked it, it's the worst of the bunch. Like starting at book 2, it pops off. And I hate saying that to people. But like it also pops off in book 1. But the writing style is just not as good in book 1. But yeah, definitely check out Wandering In. It's so good. The book you recommended was The Ambassador by Graf McNeil. Okay. Maybe I'll ask you. Any interest in reading The Will of the Many? Yeah, I think I'm reading that soon. Is that true? So on my Patreon, you can vote on what book I'm going to read. And there's 5 choices. And The Will of the Many is winning by a lot. So the first book is The Will of the Many with 11 votes. And the next highest is Beware of Chicken with 7 votes. And then The Combat Codes with 6 votes. So I'm sure The Will of the Many will win. So I will be reading it in December. New book, One Rewrite, is very good. And The Wandering In is a light lit RPG. Yeah. Yeah, it's a good to step into lit RPG because it doesn't go like full bore. But it's got a lot of those elements to it. Yeah, less numbers. Way less numbers. Like, not numbers. Might ask lesser known booktubers. Yeah, that's good. Oh, yes, I like that. You have terrified me from reading The Wandering In. Malazan's like scares me, so Wandering In is not on the table. Okay, let me fix that for you. The Wandering In is terribly long. Don't try to catch up. The goal is not to catch up because there's nothing to catch up to because it's not over. You read The Wandering In to have a good time. And you could read like one chapter from Wandering In every now and then and get a lot out of it because the beauty of a lot of these web serial type books is that every chapter has a beginning, middle, and end to it. They're all like these little stories within the greater story. So just don't plan on catching up. Just read and have fun. And don't even be like, I got to read this whole book because it doesn't matter. Just read random chapters and have fun. But it's free. It is free. It's dope. Heart-touching, emotionally book. Any recommendations? Man, I feel like I read a lot of books with a lot of death in them. I feel like an emotional book that I read that I kind of liked, didn't love, but I liked it, was The House in the Cerulean Sea. I thought it was really good. So check that one out. I inadvertently misgendered the author of The Wandering Inn. Felt like such an ass after that. Did you misgender it by claiming that they are a gender, or did you misgender it by claiming it was a guy? Because I think most people think it's a woman. Especially after my interview, they kind of said but didn't say they were a woman. But I think in my head of the author is a woman. I just can't help it. All right. Do we have any last questions before I log off? I've been on here a little longer than I planned on. I said she. Like, I noticed people saying she in the Wandering in Discord. So I don't think you need to feel bad. Also, thanks for shouting the love for Wise Man's Fear. That book does. It does. It's a dope book. I love it. It's got a couple weird scenes in it, but whatever. Most books do. Found The Wandering Inn through audiobooks. I had a few months last year when I was on the road a lot and listened to it. It was great. I always had a new chapter to listen to. Long can be good. And it's such a good price, right? Like, they're 1,000 to 2,000 pages each for the cost of one audiobook. Can't beat that. You want me to pull some strings and get you an arc for the Doors of Midnight? Yeah, hit me up with that. Pull those strings. I'd love that. Yep. 100%. Love the content. Thanks. Go hot. What did you just say to me? No, Seahawks are good this year. Seahawks terrify me, actually, because they have been going through some salary cap issues, and they're still good. And so I feel like the Seahawks are going to be really good in the NFC West in the years to come. So we do get to play twice in the near future, though, so I'm very much looking forward to that. We kind of have to beat you at least one of those. Look forward to more live chat session. Thanks. All right. Am I done? Name a plane for edit. I don't even know what that means. All right, whatever. I'm out. Okay, thank you all. Appreciate you tuning in. I am going to go read and play some video games. All right. Thanks, everybody. Happy reading to you.